Why do some people thrive in chaos while you feel like you're drowning? You walk into a crowded place, a networking event, a family gathering, a shopping mall on the weekend. Lights, noise, constant movement. The whole world is screaming at you all at once. You try to act normal, smile, nod, answer questions, but there's a small voice in your head whispering, "I don't belong here." Meanwhile, everyone else? They're energized. They come alive in chaos. The more people, the better. And you? You're counting every minute until you can leave. So why? Are you antisocial? Weak? Lacking social skills? Or is there something deeper? In psychology, in the way your brain processes the world, the answer lies in something called sensory bandwidth, the processing capacity of your nervous system. And 15 to 20% of the population has high bandwidth, brains that process more, faster, deeper than others. You're not avoiding people, you're avoiding overload. Today, I'll explain 4 types of people who hate crowds. You'll see yourself in one of them. And what you discover might change how you see yourself forever. Because this isn't weakness, this is a different operating system. The answer lies in how your brain processes the world. In psychology, there's a concept called sensory bandwidth, the information processing capacity of your nervous system. Like how the internet has bandwidth, data transfer speed, your brain works the same way. Some people have low bandwidth. They filter out most surrounding information. Noise? Filtered. Bright lights? Ignored. Other people's emotions? Barely noticed. They walk into crowds and get energized. But 15 to 20% of the population has high sensory bandwidth. Their brains don't filter. Their brains absorb, taking in everything. Every sound, every movement, every glance. Even the emotions of people around them. Psychologists call them highly sensitive persons, HSPs. And here's what matters. You're not antisocial. You're not weak. You're running 50 programs at once while others only run 5. That's not a bug. That's a feature, just needing the right environment. And there are 4 types of people with different high bandwidth profiles. You might see yourself in one, or several, of them. The first type, the sponge. Someone who absorbs everything, like a sponge in water. Why are they like this? Their nervous system has a highly sensitive nervous system. Their brain doesn't filter noise like others do. Instead of filtering out what's unnecessary, it absorbs everything. Sound, light, smell, movement, like a sponge soaking up water. What happens to them in crowds? You walk into a supermarket, Saturday morning, packed with people. Cart traffic jam at the entrance. 2 kids screaming at each other by the snack aisle. The PA system blasting promotions nonstop. 50% off at the meat counter. Harsh neon lights. A mix of freshly baked bread and cleaning products. And you feel your soul leaving your body. That's not dramatic. That's real sensory overload. Your brain is trying to process 50 inputs at once. Every sound is another tab opening. Every movement is another notification. By the time you leave the supermarket, your CPU has crashed. Research shows, after 2 to 3 hours in an overstimulating environment, people with HSP traits need double the recovery time compared to average people. How do you know if you're the sponge? You notice things others miss. The humming of the AC that no one else hears. The flickering light that no one else sees. The faint perfume from someone walking by. And here's what's important. That's not weakness. That's a nervous system that processes deeply. You're not overreacting. You're processing more, and that takes energy. That's why after shopping, after a crowded meeting, or after a family party, you're completely drained, exhausted, just wanting to go home, close the door, and have silence. But there's a second group. They don't just absorb, they notice everything. Why are they like this? They're the detector, someone with a 360-degree radar. Their brain doesn't just absorb information, it analyzes information at high speed. You walk into a room. No one has said anything yet, but you've already noticed. Who's fake smiling? Who's forcing a laugh? Who's carrying heavy energy? You feel tension without anyone saying a word. Psychologists call this emotional intelligence, the ability to read people at a level others can't see. What happens in crowds? Imagine a networking event. Everyone exchanging business cards, constant small talk. They're laughing and chatting. You're standing in the corner, observing. They think you're not sociable. They think you're awkward. The truth? You're processing 50 conversations at once, not just yours, the entire room's. Who's uncomfortable? Who's faking it? Who's hiding something? Your brain won't let you ignore these signals. How do you know if you're the detector? You know who will leave a relationship before they know it themselves. You sense shifts in a room's energy. You detect lies without needing evidence. That's not paranoid. That's pattern recognition at a high level. And here's the important reframe. You're not antisocial. You're observant. You're not weird. That's emotional intelligence. But in crowds, 50 people equals 50 datasets to analyze. Brain overload. Energy drain. The third group, the empath. Someone who feels everything. Like 50 TV channels playing at once. Why are they like this? In the brain, there's something called mirror neurons, cells that mirror what you see. When you see someone in pain, your brain literally fires as if you are in pain. Most people have mirror neurons that work at normal levels, but for the empath, mirror neurons in overdrive. What happens in crowds? Imagine, you're standing in a room with 30 people. This corner, someone stressed about work. That corner, someone pretending to be happy. Far table, tension between two people. Happiness, stress, anger, anxiety, fakeness, all mixing together. You're not feeling one thing, you're feeling everything, all at once. Scenario: holiday season, family gathering, 30 people in the house. How much do you make? When are you getting married? Why are you so thin/fat? Each question isn't just a question, you feel the judgment behind it. Feel the expectation. Feel the comparison to everyone else's kids. Feel your parents' disappointment even though they don't say it. By evening, you're exhausted. Not from talking too much, from processing 30 people's emotions all day. How do you know if you're the empath? You cry watching sad movies, even knowing it's fiction. You feel a room's energy the moment you walk in. You absorb the mood of whoever's next to you as if it's your own mood. Research shows people with high empathy have an amygdala, the emotion processing region, that's more active than average people. Stronger empathy is a gift. That's why you're a good friend, a good listener, someone who understands. But in crowds, the gift becomes overload. 30 people equals 30 emotional channels broadcasting into your brain at once. But there's a fourth group that most don't talk about. They don't run away. They proactively create sanctuary. Why are they different? They're the sanctuary seeker, not victims of crowds, but architects of peace. Types 1, 2, 3. They get drained by crowds. But type 4? They've learned to protect before getting drained. What do they do differently? They leave early. Not escaping. They choose to leave early. Close the door, dim lights, soft music, a book, a cup of tea. That's not loneliness. That's intentional recharging. Psychology calls this intentional solitude, purposeful alone time, not running from life, but returning to yourself. How do you know if you're the sanctuary seeker? You don't feel guilty declining invitations. You know your energy has limits. You schedule alone time like you schedule important meetings. And here's the most important reframe. In a world addicted to noise, choosing silence is a superpower. You're not running away from chaos. You're returning to yourself. And here's what matters most. The most productive people, the most creative people, the most emotionally intelligent people, they all have one thing in common. They protect their solitude. Writers need quiet space to write. Artists need solitude to create. Leaders need time alone to think clearly. You're no exception. You're operating on a different system. And that system needs the right environment to perform. Research shows People with high sensory processing tend to have higher creativity, stronger empathy, and better attention to detail. That's not a disadvantage. That's a different operating system. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's self-connection. And in a world where everyone chases noise, the ability to choose silence, that's rare. So which of these four types are you? Type 1, the sponge. Your brain absorbs every sound, light, and smell like a sponge. You process more than others without realizing it. Type 2, the detector. 360-degree radar. You notice fake smiles and hidden tensions that others completely miss. Type 3, the empath. Mirror neurons in overdrive. You don't just see emotions, you feel the emotions of the entire room. Type 4, the sanctuary seeker. Not running away. You proactively create sanctuary, an architect of peace. Are you one type, or a mix of several? Whoever you are, there's one thing you need to remember. You don't owe anyone an explanation for leaving early. You owe yourself peace. That's not avoidance, that's self-respect. Hating crowds isn't antisocial, it's a sign of high sensory bandwidth, a nervous system that processes more than 80% of other people. You're not weak, you're not weird. You're running 50 programs on hardware where others only run 5. You're not avoiding life, you're protecting your peace. Do you need the noise of crowds? Or have you found strength in silence? If this video made you think differently, subscribe so you don't miss the next psychology topics. Community link in the description.